it on.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, good luck, you guys. I'm gonna then
you.
just kind of put everything back over here in the folder.
Awesome.
Cool. All right,
Sounds
good
good. I'm just gonna grab a pen for you and for me. Oh, thank you.
And then, are there particular food models you want to use, or do you want to
I
just
think they're
use
already, yeah, I don't,
basket?
I think that's fine. Pen
Perfect.
for you. Oh, you already did. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay. I think we were all groovy. So I apologize in advance if anything seems choppy or anything kind of reading off of a script, but I'm gonna try to make it a little bit more personalized for us if possible. So to start off, good afternoon, how are you?
Good.
Excellent.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm gonna be your nutrition counselor. My name's Sophia Hyde, but you can call me Sophia. How would you like to be addressed?
Just Christine.
Okay, yeah, awesome. And you can have a seat right there if you're comfortable. We can also move if this isn't a good spot. You're all comfortable?
Yeah,
You're
I'm
good?
comfortable.
Awesome. Okay, so today I'm gonna ask you a series of questions about your eating patterns. Have you ever met with a nutrition counselor in the past?
No.
Awesome, so this will be a new thing for both of us
Yeah,
then.
for
Awesome.
Mhm.
So as a peer nutrition counselor, I can provide nutrition counseling on 3 different topics. It's kind of like my scope of practice right now where we're at as students. So I can focus on eating on a budget, reading a nutrition label, or eating a balanced diet. So do any of these 3 topics sound of interest to you?
Eating a balanced diet.
Beautiful, my favorite. So I will remember this as we talk through our steps today. Let's see here. Beautiful. So I just want to let you know that I can stop anytime if you're uncomfortable or if you have any questions, please interrupt me. I'm happy to stop and answer any questions that you have. And I'm also going to be taking notes as we chat, but only myself and Dr. George will be the ones viewing my notes, okay?
Okay.
And then I need your verbal consent to begin, if that's all right with you. And if you
Yeah.
wouldn't mind just signing this paper. You just need to, write your name there and then sign and date it. Beautiful, thank you. Okay, you all groovy to begin? Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to start today by asking you a few questions to give me a better idea of challenges that you have with your diet so that I can better support you in making a smart goal to help with your routine related to your eating patterns. So to start, what grade here are you at SFSU?
I'm a third year.
Awesome. So you'd be a junior then?
Yeah.
Awesome. And do you live on or off of campus?
Off campus.
Okay, nice. Me too. And what's your commute like? Would you say that it's 30 minutes or less by car? Do you use public transportation?
30 minutes or less.
Okay, by car or public transport?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm jealous. Ours is like 2.5 hours.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. So now the following questions will be a bit more food focused for us, okay? So how often would you say that you buy meals and snacks out? Like on campus, at restaurants, at fast food?
Often.
Pretty often? Okay. And how often would you say that you buy meals out on a typical weekend?
Often.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how often would you say you buy snacks specifically when you're out and about? I know that these questions are kind of similar.
Often.
Okay, so not super often.
Yeah.
So would you say rarely or sometimes?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I'm just going to tally those. It'll just take me a moment. Beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to conducting the 24-hour diet recall. We'll be talking about foods, beverages, snacks, nibbles that you had yesterday, starting from the time that you woke up to when you went to sleep. So everything that you ate and drank. And we will follow a 3-pass system. So first I will ask you to share a quick list of what you ate. I'll add in the details in my chart and then we can review it to make sure that it's all accurate. While you're providing details, I'm going to use common objects such as the things here in this basket to be precise, with your memory of what you ate. Do you have any questions for me right now?
No, I don't.
Cool. This all sound okay what we're doing?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so let's talk about the first item that you had to eat or drink yesterday, and then if you wouldn't mind telling me the time that you also had these items, that would be excellent.
trying to remember.
No problem, take your time, we're in no rush. So what time did you wake up, first thing that you had to drink?
So 10 a.m.
Okay.
Water.
What location did you have that?
At my home in San Jose.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Home, water.
Water, and then what I ate.
How much water would you say you had?
Probably a cup of water.
Yeah, you could use things like these to measure how much you had. Feel free to take advantage of any of these common
Yeah,
objects.
just a cup of
A
water.
cup? No problem. Okay, next.
And frosted flakes.
Okay.
With milk.
What time did you say you had that, my dear?
Probably after the water. So.
Shortly after?
Yeah.
Okay. And these were both at home, I assume?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And
How much frosted flakes would you say you had? To use a ball, the deck of cards, anything that looks appropriate to you.
maybe 2 cups.
2 cups?
Yeah.
Okay. And how much milk?
1.5.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
And the milk, was it soy milk? Was it cow's milk?
It was cow's milk.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do
whole
you-
milk.
It was whole, cool. You already knew my next question. Okay, next thing that you ate or drank?
I think it was around 12.
Okay. And location?
The San Francisco, Daly City home.
Okay.
So still home.
Okay, so I gotcha.
Yeah.
And what was it that you munched on?
It was a sweet and sour soup.
Yum.
Mommy?
Nice.
Yeah.
I haven't had a good sweet and sour soup in a while.
And rice.
Nice, okay. Do you know the ingredients within the soup that we could talk about? Like I know there's bamboo sometimes that goes in there,
Yeah, there's
right?
bamboo, there's I don't know how to say it in English.
That's okay.
Yeah, there's pineapple.
Ooh, nice.
Catfish.
Nice, catfish,
Yeah.
yum.
Tomatoes.
Okay,
There's like other vegetables. But
for sure, like cabbage, right? Or
Yeah, it's
maybe
I don't know, like it's similar to
something
cabbage.
similar?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just put cabbage variety, how about
Yeah.
that? And if we could talk about the amounts of these foods with any of these that seem appropriate to you. So for the sweet and sour soup in total, how much would you say that you had?
And 2 cups.
2 cups? Want to talk about the rice. And then bamboo, what do you think? Maybe like half of a deck of cards, a full deck, whatever seems appropriate to you.
Half a deck?
Okay.
Yeah.
How about the pineapple?
Pineapple would probably fill 1/3 of a cup.
Catfish?
Catfish. Just like a whole deck.
Beautiful. And tomatoes?
Tomatoes, same thing, 1/3.
Beautiful. Okay. And then the cabbage?
Cabbage, probably half a cup.
How much rice?
Rice, 1 cup.
Beautiful. Was it white rice, brown rice?
It's white rice.
Okay.
Jasmine?
Perfect. Thank you for being so specific. 1 cup of that. Was there anything else in that meal that you can think of?
No, that's it.
Awesome. And then we can move on to the next thing. Time and location to start.
I think I didn't eat any snacks that day, but for dinner I had it's like this duck noodle soup.
Delicious.
I had egg noodles.
What time did you say you had that?
I don't know,
8 p.m.?
Yeah, that one.
Beautiful. Nice. You must not have had school yesterday.
No, I had school.
Oh, you did? Excellent. So you
2
probably.
p.m.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
So we had egg noodles in there. How much duck would you say that you had? Or actually, let's go through the ingredients of your soup and then we'll talk about the amounts. So I've got the egg noodles, the duck.
Duck. There was sriracha that. Sriracha. Mushrooms.
Yum.
It's the big mushrooms. I don't know what they're called.
Like this big?
No,
Okay.
a little fatter and bigger.
Okay.
This
Problem.
one.
It's
Yeah.
all good.
Mushrooms, and then I totally forgot what it's called, but it's like a cabbage.
Cabbage variety.
Yeah. Mhm.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay, beautiful. How much duck noodle soup in total would you say that you had?
I had like a lot, but 2 cups of noodles.
Of the soup or of noodles separately?
Noodles.
Gotcha. So you had noodles and soup together?
Yeah.
I understand. And how much soup would you say you had?
I filled the bowl, so I think it was 2.5 cups or 3 maybe.
Sounds good. And then how much duck would you say was in your soup?
How much duck?
Mhm.
Probably 3 deck of cards.
Okay. How much sriracha?
Not a lot, so probably like a tablespoon maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can definitely use these. It's a little bit
Oh, yeah,
easier to
this would be-
visualize. One of those, would you say? Okay. So 1 ping pong ball. How many mushrooms? Or how much mushrooms? Perfect.
Yeah.
And then how much of the cabbage would you say?
1/3.
Okay, beautiful. Is there anything else that you had that day?
I had a Cinnabon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what time of day you had that?
Around 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Where was the location?
Home.
Beautiful.
And I had another milk in there too.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple of milk.
How large would you say your Cinnabon was with any of these models? And of course, if it was like double the size, you could say 2 of these or 2.5.
And 2 of these?
2 of the pucks?
Yeah.
Beautiful. What is that, a hockey puck? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
I think that's all I had.
Awesome. Sounds great. Let's see here. So as far as the method of preparation goes, where would you say that I know that the cereal, you pour it into a bowl, your sweet and sour soup, do you know the method of preparation for that? I know a soup usually just
Boiled.
boiled. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. And then let's see, your rice was probably steamed like in a
Yeah.
rice cooker or something like that? Okay,
Rice
awesome.
cooker.
The duck noodle soup, how would you say the method of preparation was for that?
So the noodles were boiled.
Okay.
The soup was also boiled, but the duck was roasted.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yummy. I haven't had duck in a long time.
Really?
Duck is yummy.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And then your Cinnabon baked, I would assume. Microwave?
microwave.
Okay, cool. Beautiful. Thanks for your patience while we got all those deets. We are almost finished with that. I'm just going to review everything that we just talked about, and please let me know if there's any other foods, drinks, or snacks that we left out. So at 10 a.m. at home, I've got the water, 1 cup. 10:15 a.m. at home, we had Frosted Flakes, 2 cups. 10:15, we had the milk along with it, 1.5 cups. Noon, we had the sweet and sour soup, which was boiled, 2 cups in total, along with bamboo, pineapple, catfish, tomatoes, and cabbage variety. And then we also had a full cup of white rice that was steamed in the rice cooker. 8 p.m. at home, the duck noodle soup that was boiled, 2.5 to 3 cups of that. Egg noodles that were boiled, 2 cups of that. And then you duck, sriracha, mushrooms, cabbage. And then at 10 p.m. I have the Cinnabon. Was there any other water intake throughout the day or any liquid intake that you wanted to talk about? Okay.
I went to the gym, so I had probably 2 water bottles.
Okay, what time did you go to the gym?
5 p.m.
Okay.
or 5. I don't remember.
No problem.
Time specifically.
Somewhere around.
Yeah, somewhere around there after class.
Was it the gym here? Was it a different gym?
Gym here.
Excellent.
Yeah.
School gym, water. So by cups, would you say these, or would you say like a water bottle that you have?
Water bottle.
Okay, do you happen to know how many ounces is in your water bottle? Okay, cool. So 16 times 2, that's like 32 ounces, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Any other fluid intake or snacks that you can think of?
I don't think so.
Okay, sounds good. Would you say that this was a normal day for you as far as your intake of food, or was it kind of not an average day? What do you think about it?
Usually when I come home from San Jose, it's like with my mom, so I'm usually filled with like food, but then during school weeks, I think it's less
Okay,
what I eat.
okay. So was yesterday a day that you were going home and you got to have your
Yeah.
mother's cooking, so you'd say maybe a little bit more food than usual?
Yeah.
Okay. And how many days of the week would you say you go home versus not seeing your mom and not getting those delicious home cooked meals? Is that common to go home, not so
every
common?
2 weeks?
Oh wow,
Yeah.
okay, so not as often.
Yeah.
Okay, so this probably wasn't a super usual day then.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna just make a quick note of that. So you're saying that you live in Daly City, but you're from San Jose, so your family's down there?
Mhm,
I
yeah.
understand. Beautiful.
I think it just depends on my schedule.
Oh, of course,
If
yeah.
I have too much like studying to do, I probably won't eat that much.
Mhm.
If I'm more free, then I'll probably go out and eat, if anything, or if I have time to cook, then I'll cook.
Totally, yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
It's hard to balance it all when you're in school. It's
Mhm.
hard to balance cooking and school and the gym and
Yeah.
the commute. I
Going to
understand.
the grocery store.
Totally,
yeah.
I totally get it. Thank you for sharing your dietary intake with me. As a review, the nutrition education topic that you were interested was eating on a balanced diet. So is this still something that you're interested in talking about in relationship with the food recall that we just talked about?
Yeah.
Excellent. So my mentor has reviewed the information that I'm about to share with you related to your selected topic. What I would like for us to do now is for us to think about the topic that you chose and the information that you shared with me. And I would like us to work together to make a SMART goal for you to assess the level of change that you indicate. So a SMART goal is a mnemonic. So it stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So this is a good way to keep us in check. Hey, is this goal actually something that we can do? Is it practical? Can I actually do it? You know, because making goals that you can't reach is frustrating and discouraging and not as easy to attain. So the most successful lifestyle changes occur when you make a SMART goal and you understand your level of motivation and your readiness to actually do it. Do you have any questions about that? Does that sound like an okay plan to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm currently trying to gain weight,
Okay.
so I'm trying to eat more than 2,000 calories.
Okay, good to know. I'm going to jot that down if that's all right with you. In fact, I'm going to put that in our concerns here. Do you have a particular weight goal that you're trying to reach?
120?
120 pounds. Do you know what you're currently at, if I may ask?
105?
Cool. So you are trying to reach 2,000 or go over 2,000 calories
Go
per day?
over 2,000.
Nice. Okay. Trying to go over. Okay. So to get a better idea of how ready you are to make a change, we're going to use this photo I have here. It's a ruler from 0 to 10. So this is kind of just a way of looking at how ready am I actually to make this change. So level 1 to 10, you know, being level 1 being I'm not ready, level 10, I'm ready to make this change. So how confident would you say that you are to make this change?
I'm ready.
Okay, so what number would you pick?
Uh,
It's whatever you feel comfortable with.
Probably 8.
Okay, beautiful. So that's going to put you in level 3, which would indicate that you are ready, so to speak. So, thanks again for answering these questions about your diet and also about your readiness. From your response, it appears that you are in a stage of readiness. What do you know about the topic that you selected from eating a balanced diet?
I guess like averaging like the grains, your fruits, and your vegetables, and
Mhm.
also your like proteins and stuff.
Yeah, excellent.
Making sure that you have like your daily nutrition.
Yeah, absolutely, that's great. It's a really good place to start. Would you mind if I took a moment and provided a little bit more nutrition education about your subject? Awesome. So let's see here. I've got that in here. Let's see here. Caitlin, can you give me the budget paper or our balanced diet paper, please? Appreciate it. I'm sorry, I definitely thought they were in here. I appreciate your patience. Oh, here it is. Sorry, Caitlin. I do have it.
You want this one or you want?
Nah, it's okay. Perfect. All right, so this is just kind of a nice overview of how to follow a balanced diet that my instructor, Dr. George, put together. So as far as fruits and vegetables go, we're kind of going to break it up between fruits and veggies, protein, grains, kind of like what you just said. So you were totally on the right track with that, which is excellent. So fruits and veggies. It's great to try to get in lots of fruits and veggies with each meal and snack if you can. So a good rule of thumb is to make half of your plate fruits and vegetables. So I know that that kind of seems daunting when you first hear it, but it is really helpful if you just try to incorporate it into each meal. I'm sure you've seen the cute photos, certain sections of protein, carbs, vegetables, and fats.
Yeah.
So if you look at the photos, the most common newer ones, almost half of it is vegetables or fruits. Of course, I always try to encourage doing more vegetables than fruits. But you don't have to only buy fresh or organic produce either. There's a lot of ways that you can get vegetables in, such as getting frozen, canned, dried, or juiced. I love to do frozen vegetables or canned because it's really easy if you don't have a ton of time. Getting canned if you don't get to go to the grocery store much, or frozen, either way, because then it's just waiting for you, and having it fresh, it can go bad quickly. Getting a variety is really important too. I really like to promote variety because if you're eating the same vegetables all the time, then you're limiting yourself to those nutrients in those vegetables. Whereas, if you're switching up the type of cabbage or the type of mushrooms that you get, you're going to get different nutrients from that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. So protein, there are many animal and non-animal protein sources: nuts, seeds, soy, fish, beans, and meats. Although most people do eat enough protein, there's a need to make these leaner and a more varied selection of proteins. So let's see here. Roasting, baking, or broiling meat rather than frying is a good option. I know you talked about that your duck was roasted, so that's excellent.
Yeah.
Let's see here, moving on to grains. So grains kind of are divided into two subgroups. We've got whole grains, and then we have refined grains. Whole grains have the whole kernel. We've got the bran, the germ, the endosperm. They have a lot more vitamins in them. Although some of the vitamins are added back into the refined grains, you don't have as much fiber. And fiber really plays a big role in how much of the calories you absorb. It makes a big difference in your gut health. Fiber is a really great thing to take. So the goal is to make about half of your grains whole grains. So let's see here. I'm going to read some examples of whole grains for you. Multigrain, stone ground, 100% wheat, cracked wheat, 7-grain, or bran. Oh, forgive me, those are food labels that are not whole grain products. So these are things to actually look out for. Sorry, I read this wrong. So it can be really easy in food labels to get confused with what's on there. It's hard to tell sometimes if it's actually a whole grain. So I like to recommend looking for things and ingredients that say whole grains, or on the packaging if it says whole grains added. So dairy. Trying to go for fat-free or low-fat milk and yogurt and cheese will help to decrease your fat intake. I know that you mentioned one of your concerns is getting your calories up. So I'm not necessarily saying that your whole-fat milk is an issue, especially if you're trying to get your calories up, but it's just food for thought.
Yeah.
And consuming dairy products definitely has its health benefits, like improved bone health from the calcium. If you don't consume dairy, it's important to make sure you're getting calcium from other sources, but you do consume dairy. Let's see here, and I'm going to move on to oils and fats. So oils are a major source of essential fatty acids in the diet. So oils will be liquid at room temperature, whereas solid fats are going to be saturated at room temperature. So it's good to try to reach for oils that are liquid at room temperature, not solid, such as butter, coconut oil, lard, these sort of things. Oil has a lot of calories, so you definitely want to be mindful about how much you take. You also want to avoid trans fats or hydrogenated fats. So, and they can be tricky. You know, something like peanut butter, you'll see hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated. So these are things that have trans fats in them, which studies have shown are really bad for us. So it's a good thing to try to avoid. Foods to limit would be things like with alcohol, really high sugar foods, and high saturated fat foods. I know we just talked a little bit about that. High sugar foods, examples would be beverages. That's really a big culprit that is an issue for many individuals, because beverages can have so much sugar in them and no fiber. And like I mentioned before, the fiber will help to slow down how quickly you absorb sugar. So eating something like a whole piece of fruit, although it does have sugar in it, the fiber with it will help to slow down how quickly you absorb that sugar. Whereas if you drink a glass of orange juice, there's no fiber. So you're going to absorb it quick, and you're going to have
So what are like good foods that contain like fiber?
any fruits or vegetables, really.
Any of them?
Yeah, absolutely. Whole as much as possible. So what I mean by that is not juiced, maybe not canned necessarily, but just fresh. Even frozen fruits are great too. Nuts, whole grains, they have a lot of fiber as well. So I really like brown rice, farro, barley, those are whole grains, quinoa, those have a lot of fiber in them. But the cabbage, the mushrooms, those other vegetables that we were chatting about, pineapple, those are all really high fiber. One thing that is low fiber for sure, although it's really delicious, is white rice and white noodles, because the white noodles are made from white rice. Although they're delicious and I totally recognize that they're traditional, they are low in fiber. So, you know, if you are open to trying something like brown rice, it might be a good thing to switch over and try. You just have to try with an open mind, you know. I always go to sushi restaurants and ask for my rolls to be made with brown rice, and sometimes I get, you know, like like, what are you talking about? That's not going to be good. But, you know, it's a healthy, balanced diet is all about just little changes that you can make. Because if you try to make drastic changes, it might be hard to sustain it. You know what I mean? Does any of that make sense? Do you have any other questions?
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Another tip on here is to eat often. This recommends every 4 hours. And I would say that I agree with that. I like to eat less, but more often. Your body is like an engine. And you know, if you let your car run out of gas, you're gonna putter out, you're not gonna do well. So keeping calories in your body slowly throughout the day is beneficial for keeping your energy levels up, be more productive in school, you have a better workout. And having meals with at least 3 food groups is a really excellent way to make sure you have a balanced diet. Water. Limit your sweetened beverages. Try to drink as much water as you can as far as beverages go. And limit your solid fats like butter, margarine, added sugars, and sodium. So decreasing these foods can help with calorie consumption. It can also prevent chronic disease as well. So based on everything that we talked about today, are there any changes that you'd like to make to your diet or eating habits? And then we can kind of start to make a SMART goal based off of that, based on any concerns that you have.
Probably some more fruits, vegetables, and whole grain.
Awesome, okay.
More on the vegetables and fruit side.
Awesome. Is there anything else?
Just figuring out like what foods would be good for me to like increase my protein intake as well as getting all the nutrients that I need.
Excellent, that sounds great. Okay. Would you like to talk about any strengths and skills that you know about yourself that you have in order to make this goal attainable?
For like a skinny girl, I've noticed that I can eat a lot if I want to.
That's excellent.
Yeah, so it's just a struggle of having time to like sit down and eat during school.
Totally. based off that, let's go ahead and make a SMART goal with the same acronym that we talked about earlier, making it specific,